Hello and welcome to GPTV on the most beautiful Tuesday, the 12th of February. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer, and here we are, Phil. It's just about, can you hear the rumbling? The drums are banging in the hills.
Hark, hark, I hear a drum.
The train is coming because this is sort of now the calm before the storm. This weekend we have a few auctions on, Philip, but we've got
It's the teaser weekend before the massive one,
It's
really.
like the teaser, it's like the curtain raiser, Phil, but it is going to be massive. But I think the week after is 21 auctions, and then you've got to strap yourself in. This weekend you're off, actually. No auctions for you, Philip. I've got one on Saturday. So take the weekend off, relax, because you're going to need all your
But the last weekend off before Easter or even December, maybe, Gary.
Well, we've got one weekend off in March for auctions, Philip, the long weekend, which we're all going away, actually. We're doing a bit of a study tour.
Directors' conference.
We are, Philip. But
more about that later.
Lots going on. It's a bit early to call how the market's going. Any thoughts or feelings?
My thoughts are the number one barometer, the key indicator of this time of year, given the fact that the auction season hasn't totally unwrapped yet, is numbers of people going through open for inspections. And I've got to tell you, Gary, I am pleasantly surprised with the level of activity of numbers through the door. That's the key indicator.
Between 25 and 30 people on average at our opens, Philip. You'd
Those
be
are
happy
big
with that,
numbers.
wouldn't you?
Numbers.
Big numbers.
Gary, last weekend, I was just looking at the stats from our sales meeting yesterday. Last weekend, we had 800 groups register their name, address and email as a result of going through the doors of our property.
There's a lot of people around, Phil, and I think that does show really confidence. People are a bit confused about what they should pay for properties. Should they buy, shouldn't they buy? But let's talk about our discussion yesterday, because I think it was a very incredibly interesting and powerful discussion in yesterday's meeting.
Absolutely no idea what that discussion was about.
Left a big impact on you.
Illuminate me a little more.
Good on you, Phil. You've got a good retention there of information. Philip, we spoke yesterday with all of our sales team.
Yes.
And our wonderful salespeople.
Go on.
About why you should buy now, Phil. Now you're with me. Buy now.
Remember, I introduced.
You need to get those options under your
belt. Is it an acronym?
Acronym, I think.
I introduced an acronym.
It's WOBO, was it?
Of WOBO.
I was listening.
Yeah, how good was that?
I think everybody else wasn't.
WOBO, viewers. WOBO. WOBO. Possibly the most important acronym you'll hear in the early stages of 2019. For all of our hello competitors. We know that the first clicks on GPTV are generally our competitors, and we will at some stage of GPT name and shame them.
Yeah,
but this is patented. We're
watching you too.
We've taken out. We've registered.
Watching you, watching us.
We've registered WOBO.
Yeah, WOBO.
WOBO, which stands for Gary.
Can't remember, Philip. Something about buying opportunity.
Window of buying opportunity.
Window of buying opportunity. Now, Phil, it was interesting what we talked about, because we happen to be blessed enough to operate in some of the most blue chip, established, wonderful areas of Melbourne. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else in the world. And, you know, what we find, Philip, is that these markets and these areas, they don't go down much, do they?
Resilient.
They're resilient. So they have gone down. That's true. We can identify. You can buy something today that was like 1.4, that was 1.6, or an apartment that was 600, now 600, that was 680.
10 to 15% off the
670,
peaks.
680, 690. So we can actually sell you something now and say you are actually saving this much off the market high. But we're not sure there's going to be much more saving to gain, Phil.
That's why we're talking WOBO.
And that's it. It's why WOBO. Because if you want to buy now in good areas, because here's the thing. Let's just say that it does go down further. Will it go down further? We don't think so, do we?
We think it's WOBO, yeah.
We think it's WOBO, so we think it's pretty much hit the bottom. Maybe it will go down a bit much further, but what happens if it goes down even another couple of percent, Phil? You can't find what you want. Because one thing we do know, Phil, that you can't argue about, is it's going to go up again. We know it's going to go up again. That we know. And I think every buyer knows
has
that
proven.
It's going to go up again. So why wouldn't you buy now? Interest rates are low. The problem that you find in good areas like this, Phil, and we talked about this if you were listening, and you must have been listening because you made the whole WOBO thing there, right? Is that we know that areas like this where property's tightly held, a lot of people just won't sell if properties go down. So you might say, well, I've saved another 3%, but then what happens if you can't find anything, Phil? You wait too long, prices go up, bang, you got stung. That's the story.
Gary, I've got two things to say. I've got two things to say to you. First of all,
Warren
Buffett, who is without question the world's greatest investor. Always said he likes to buy shares in blue chip companies when they go on sale. And what he means by that, he waits for prices to correct and then he buys those companies when they're on sale and holds them. He doesn't buy them at the top end of the market, he just waits for them to go on sale, which is like really what's happening at the moment, this WOBO, this window of buyer's opportunity. It is a great time. There's my first point. My second point, have you noticed anything very different about this week's episode of GPTV so far?
No, not particularly.
Think about it. Come on, you're a smart bloke.
No, I haven't really, no.
All right. So I got a scolding from my wife last week on the back of last week's GPTV episode, which was agents in cars drinking coffee, which she said conceptually, very good idea.
Was she upset because you don't let me get a word in? Was that what you said? Yeah, he's let me speak a bit. Is that right? Did you get in trouble with that? I've actually heard my own voice on the show. There you go. That's amazing.
I didn't notice how I've been holding back. I haven't been cutting you off all the time. She said last week's episode was really the high point of me talking over. Is that right?
Really? Well, there you go.
So you know what? She's killing me.
Your wife has been and always will be a very astute lady, and I've always loved her in a very sort of partner, your partner friendly way, not in an inappropriate. We don't want the Me Too movement chasing me for that film, but I have always loved her, and she's wonderful. Thank you, Irene. It's wonderful. Hey, talking about GPTV and the viewers, last year, like when I was on holidays and really had nothing to do, I started having a look at the numbers on YouTube.
Yes.
And like a year ago, there was 400 people, and it was like 200, and there was like 500, there was like 250. I thought, no one's watching the show anymore.
Oh, no, there's some dedicated
and I
viewers,
thought, the numbers have really
dropped. Some hardcore viewers.
I thought the numbers had dropped, so I sort of felt a bit sad about that film. And I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought, is there any other way people can watch it?
Well, of course there is.
Then I found Facebook.
Facebook.
It's new. It's this new thing. It's in America. It's a new thing. This guy Zuckerberg started it, right? Facebook. And guess what? There's like 2,000 people watching. So there you go.
It's the new technology, Gary. You're probably going to get electricity and running water connected to your house. So
I think I'm going to, Phil. And those phones, those punch phones, they don't work anymore either. Because they were the new phones, the old dial ones. Let's talk about the market, shall we? It's a good time to buy. Can we talk
before we do, Gary? And I know this may put a slightly negative tone on this week's GPTV, but I do just want to say to the viewers a very sad announcement of really one of the great icons and the giants of our industry died over the weekend. And I know we haven't talked about death before on GPTV, but it wouldn't be right for this episode of GPTV to go to air without us acknowledging the death of David Edelman.
Well, David Edelman is one of the very few people we actually had interviewed on the show. If you remember that rightly. Yeah,
absolutely.
In fact, I think he's the only builder or architect we've interviewed on the show. And he, of course, is a local identity known for building great houses over a long period of time. So it's very, very sad to see and to understand that David Edelman's passed away, Philip, because
David
he was a
Edelman
great guy.
Was one of the giants of not just the local area, but he was a giant on the national architectural scene. There are many, many people that have had so much to do with him over the years, and a shout out, of course, to David's family and his extended family. He will be sorely missed by anybody that ever met him, let alone anybody that was involved in the real estate industry.
And I think everybody that met him always liked him because he was so passionate about everything he did. So that is a bit of a sad starting note to the year, and we're thinking of the Edelman family and extended family. Phil, let's talk about this weekend's auctions because we've got 4 on Saturday.
Yes.
We're in a great house, which we have to review in a minute.
Well, I've got to tell you, can we jump into this house? Can we jump into this house as we speak? Because
you know what? You can have your way because you haven't talked over the top of me, so you can just have whatever you want, Phil.
My favourite Philip Kingston. This is the new ebb and flow, the new gentle Philip Kingston in 2019.
I like it. How long have you been married for?
How long? 31 years, 32 years.
Took you that long to listen to. I knew one day you'd listen to your wife.
Sooner or later, everything that she says gets through.
Yeah, good.
Gary, this is the most incredible house. From the moment I pulled up on the street to look at this house, I thought, what a lovely looking home. And yet, for those Doctor Who viewers, it's a bit like the TARDIS, Gary, because what you see from the outside is not what you get inside. It opens up to the most expansive family home.
You loved Doctor Who, didn't you?
I did love Doctor Who.
It was one of the few shows you got to watch in Cootamundra.
Well, that's because it was on the ABC.
Yeah. I didn't show it on RBN AMV.
Long story there, but what a gorgeous house this is, Gary. 4 bedrooms, big entertaining areas, fabulous bathrooms, but this kitchen meals family room with its bifold doors opening to the deck, to the private north-facing rear garden.
Private, yeah.
This is a house with everything. And Gary, I believe the price range that we're quoting is 1.3 to 1.43. I've got to tell you, that seems to me like incredible value.
I think there's lots of value to be had here, Phil. And if you remember rightly, and you will remember, the first home I ever bought was this sort of Tudor-style, English-style home.
It was.
It's a timeless style.
You still own it too,
I
Gary?
do still own it, thankfully, Phil. I've fought and scraped hard over the years to be able to do that. But I've got to say, Phil, my favourite style of real estate, and we're in a wonderful location. We're at 6 Sheffield Street, Caulfield South. This has got lots of accommodation. It's actually a bit of a surprise package because it doesn't quite look or feel as big. You wouldn't know it's that big.
So Gary,
then you walk in.
Sorry to interrupt you at this point, but I feel
apologise for doing it.
But I feel I need to.
It's still a step in the right direction.
I've just said all of that.
Yeah,
so let's move on to the next property, shall we?
Let's do that, Philip. Details of this one on the screen, but it is Saturday the 23rd of February, Philip, in 2 weeks' time, so make sure you get yourself here. Phil, we've got 4 auctions this weekend. I am opening with the first auction that I'm doing this year, not our first auction, the first I'm doing this year, in East Brighton. I'm being Leon Guzenfitter and the team, and I love this address, and I love being in East Brighton.
Well, Gary, we've had so much success in East Brighton, and what a great property. This is a really good period home on 713 square metres of land. One of the best parts about this property is it's got a massive 23 metre frontage, and if you think that the average frontage that we have is about 15 metres, that is a massive frontage. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking, lots of opportunity there, Gary. And as the headline says, prime Bayside locale packed with potential.
Excited about that one, Philip. As excited, perhaps, as Leor Samuel is about his first auction of the year. He's going to be in Milton Street in Carnegie, Leor, and he's ready to get the auction theme for 2019 underway.
Gary, we love Milton Street in Carnegie. We love everything about Carnegie. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a lock-up garage. That's a really good way to get into the market. And Gary, just a quick note, things seem to have settled down now with the Sky Rail.
Yes.
And the locals, I think, the locals are starting to love it.
I think they're loving it, and not only that, they're loving all the parklands under
there. Yeah. Have you had a look at that parkland?
Look at those parklands. Yeah.
I think you and your daughter Nina should go for a bike ride along that bike path.
We should do that
because that would be something very lovely to do.
I would love to do that, Phil. I'd be happy to do so. In fact, I went for a bike ride just the other day, Phil.
Did you with Nina?
No, with Daniel.
Okay. To Mona. Yeah. You rode all the way to Hobart.
No, from Hobart. Hobart to Mona.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful ride.
How did Daniel like Nona?
We didn't go into the museum. We just had lunch there because we didn't have a lot of time.
So you went all the way to Hobart.
Yes.
Rode to Mona.
Yep.
But didn't go in.
I went there for lunch, Phil. We had a different agenda. Is there a museum? There is a museum there, isn't there?
Who does that?
Peers do that.
So who goes to Tasmania? Yeah. Who rides a bike to Mona and then doesn't go inside?
We do. Well, I told him about there's a few things there in Mona.
I've got a Mona. I'm moaning about what a cultural philistine I've got as a partner.
We're unusual people.
Unusual.
I accept that. Philip, Graham Callan, there's nothing unusual about him.
I bet you didn't ride from your hotel to the casino and then not go in.
That's another story. But we'll save that one for another episode. GPTV.
Do you know? Would it be fair to describe
had a good win at the casino there
as moronic?
No, I don't think so. Actually, had an unusual thing happen with that casino. I won. Very unique. Philip, Nearham Road, Carnegie. Graham Callan, who is very, very quiet, very gentlemanly.
Quiet achiever.
He's like, he goes to bed as a pussycat, Philip, but he wakes up as a lion. When he does his auctions in the morning, I can tell you that much.
Not sure that that's appropriate GPTV discussion.
Why is that? Anyway, there's nothing inappropriate about that. There's nothing crude about.
What do you know about the nocturnal activities of our salespeople?
What I'm saying is he's very quiet and reserved, Graham, and very gentle. But as an auctioneer, he comes to life. And that's what I'm saying, Philip. He's he's out there.
We got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying it all in a complimentary way.
See, pardon me for interrupting.
Yeah, it's just your filthy sick mind.
This is the problem when I don't talk over you.
Right. No, it's not the problem you don't talk over me. The problem is you're not used to listening, Phil. That's the unique concept here for you. So let's get back to Graham.
That is a good point.
That is a good point. Let's get back to Graham. Graham is doing the auction 18151 Milton Road in Glen Huntly. Tell us about this property.
I'm actually just thinking about that comment.
It's good, isn't it?
Right. You've told me it's not the interruption.
No, it's the non-listening part.
It's when I do listen,
that's right.
the nonsensical rubbish that comes out of your mouth reminds me that I need to interrupt.
It's just the shock of listening. I think the start, let's just leave it at that for now. But 1 at 151 near and Roguler Huntley. Philip, 1 at 151 near and Roguler Huntley. Graham Callan, we've said everything we can about him. He's a wonderful auctioneer and a great agent. Tell us about this.
Well, Gary, I think our copywriters do a great job because the headline here has been right on trend. And what a beautiful apartment with the most magnificent internal floor plan with an advantage, of course, of a ground floor courtyard garden. So 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a secure car space, or actually a lock-up garage. So that is a great property. And as the copywriter says, right on trend.
Now, Philip, if we're talking about Bayside living at its finest, Bond Beach is one of those suburbs.
Yep.
It's on the rise, Philip, as Molly Meldrum used to say. It's with a bullet.
Yep.
Yeah, on the way up. And we're selling Nepean Highway, Philip, this property at 7589 Nepean Highway, Bond Beach, Lior. And
do you know what Bond Beach means, Gary?
No, what is it?
Well, Bon is French for good. So this is good beach.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Merde Beach. Is that it? What's that? I shouldn't say that. Sorry.
Yes, for those French.
Go to Merde Beach down the left-hand side there.
Yeah.
A long way from Bond Beach.
Okay, this is 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and obviously that whole Bayside is dream living. Certainly, you buy a property like that, Gary, and if that's your home, your principal residence, it'd be like being on holiday 24/7, 365.
You know, it's funny when you talk about history of suburbs and streets. You know, we're in Canberra, went out for dinner in the main street.
What is this, like the Leyland brothers now? Last week you were in Hobart, now you're in Canberra.
I'm sorry, we can't all afford to go to Whistler for holidays, Phil. No.
Yeah, open myself
Can't
up
all
to
go
that.
to Whistler. Some of us are just locals and happy with that. But in Canberra, the main strip, all the restaurants, it's called Mort Street. Mort, M-I-T.
Right.
Well, you know what mort is?
What's mort?
That's the word for death in French. Mort.
Is it?
Yeah. So go and have a real mortuary.
Only with the greatest respect to our great public service, only a bureaucrat could have thought of that name.
Yes,
or maybe that was the bureaucrat really just having a joke on Australia.
Right. And they thought they'll never go through, but it did. Anyway, Phil, that's enough trivia about streets and suburbs and addresses and real estate. We think it's a good time to buy. I think that's the key, isn't it, Phil, to the actual...
I think
to the story
just to go back
episode.
to WOBO, Window of Buyers Opportunities, there is no question, and we've seen this across our 30-year journey, Gary, that old cliche of saying that nobody rings a bell at the bottom of the market, nobody rings a bell at the top of the market. I think
there used to be bells, auctioneer bells.
We're saying very clearly, we feel that this is the time for smart money to move back into the market.
Indeed.
And yes, will they have timed it perfectly? No one ever times anything perfectly unless they're lucky. But I reckon if you buy now, in a couple of years' time, you'll look back and go, yep, it was that time of 2019.
I agree with you. I think the chances of upside if you buy now are far greater than the chances of being down. So I think that's the key and message for this week.
And interesting, it's public knowledge now. One of our directors, Leon Huizenfitter, entered the market in the last parts of 2018.
He jumped in.
We feel he bought was at a significant discount to what he would have paid a year or two ago.
It was. We don't feel it was a significant discount. So buy now, and we'll keep you in touch with everything's going on in the real estate market. And next week we've got a big show, Phil, because we're reviewing 21 auctions. Back into the groove. In the meantime, that's the news on GPTV this week. I'm Gary Peer.
And I'm the new Philip Kingston, the new ebb and flow, calmer, non-interruptional Philip Kingston.
And
have a great week.
And thank you to Irene Kingston. Bye now.
Kraskoff.